Okay, the next tech tool that I want to show you is Nearpod. Nearpod again is free. Um, it works really well to engage your students, and you can receive real-time feedback on like how they're doing on retaining the information, how they're understanding it, where each student lies. Um, my students personally like it. However, I don't use it every time we have to take notes. So what I mean by that is sometimes students get tired of the same thing. I mean, we all do. So sometimes I just do a regular PowerPoint or, an activity. Sometimes we do Nearpod. So Nearpod's a great way to be interactive and still, um, you know, get them to retain the information. So, again, we're just going to start off with whatever browser you use, and then you just go to nearpod.com. And Nearpod has been around for a while. However, sorry, I'm waiting for it to load. However, like students still, still like it when it's not being used continuously. So if you have other educators that are using it, at first I would say, if all the teachers are using it and the students are kind of get tired of it, then it's losing its purpose. However, if you're the first student or the first teacher that has introduced this to your students, then definitely try. Give it a go and share it with other teachers so that way they can all be on the same board and students can pick it up faster. So once you go to nearpod.com, you'll either need to create an account or you can log in. So because I have an account, I'm going to go ahead and log in. Maybe. My internet's moving rather slow right now. So when you sign up, it's going to ask like if you're a student, if you're an educator, if you're an administrator. You just select which option you are. So most of us will be educators. If you're a presenter, I do believe there's like a business option you can do as well. But for the most part, this is how you'll be a business teacher, or I'm sorry. There we go. Okay. So just like everything else in the world, you can upgrade your account, and that's where it costs more. You can see here that it's using the 21st century model, learning skills. So it's the 4 C's: critical thinking, collaboration, communication, and creativity. So that's awesome to reflect on making sure that your students are gaining those 21st century skills that employers are looking for. So once you've created an account, that's where you can start making your own Nearpods. So what's really cool about Nearpods is that you can create or have already created PowerPoints. And we've all heard the term death by PowerPoint, which basically means that, kids are tired of PowerPoint. PowerPoint has been overused. It's losing its value. And so that's why it's kind of good to mix it up or to jazz it up a little bit. And that's exactly what Nearpod allows you to do, is to make it interactive and to make it more engaging for the students. So I'm waiting on this to load, so I apologize. Okay, here we go. Okay. So, like I said, what's really cool is that you can upload your own, or you can do, one on your on here as well. So, like I said, I tried this out with my management class, and live lesson allows you to control the slides. So, for example, each student will have their own device. Okay, so they may use their phones, they may use a computer, they may use a desktop computer, they may use a tablet. All they need is whenever whenever you decide to do a live lesson, they will need to type in the code, which is given here. They'll type that in when they go to their Nearpod, like here, yeah, enter this code at nearpod.com. And the code was right up top. And they'll just enter that code, and then they have to enter a username. So again, something that's kind of fun, but maybe you know who they are based on that. And then once they've joined, they see the same thing you see on your projector. So what's really cool about this is that they can't move forward unless you move forward. So on my personal device, if I were taking notes from this, I can't copy and paste. I have to actually type them. And I can't go forward without the teacher going forward. Okay. What's cool about Nearpod, the best part that I personally like, is that you can integrate question and answer. You can integrate quizzes. You can integrate drawing, and we'll go over all that. But right here, this is where I ask students, what's the difference between efficiency and effectiveness? Okay, so that's where they share their answer. Okay. We also went over. Which of the management functions involves who will work for whom? Okay, and we talked about the management function. Okay, so we broke each management function down, and one specific one answers that question, and so they have to answer that question. They only have 4 options they can pick from. So this is where we talk about the kinds of managers there are. Oh, this was another like interactive tool that students use if it loads. There we go. So this is where I put kinds of manager, JC Penney example. I put Rebecca as the store manager, Janice is one of the department managers, and Taylor's a shift leader, who is the first line manager. And then they type in their response, and then they post it. So to go back to Nearpod, when you do the student lesson, that's where students have the code, and then they can choose to do the slides at their own pace. They type in their response at their own pace, like kind of as checkpoints to make sure that they're doing the right thing. So that's something that would look like if I were to just do the PowerPoint there. Like I just upload it right in. If you wanted to create your own lesson, then you just click create your own lesson when it loads. I apologize for my computer being extremely slow today. Okay, so this, like I said, you can upload your own PowerPoint here. So if I already have a PowerPoint, I can just search for that PowerPoint. This is where you can add your activities. So these are the different things we can add. But activities is how we know that students are actually engaging in what they're learning. They're understanding, they're retaining. So like I said, you can do a quiz. You can do an open-ended question. So if you click on it, it will show you what it will appear like. Okay. When you do a quiz, you have to give the options. Oh, maybe. So, yep, so this is where I put my question, and then these are the options. I have to select which one's the right one, and then I save it. Some more activities that they can do to really get involved. The collaborate, that's the one that you just saw with the chalkboard about the J.C. Penney example. So that's how that one would view in the actual presentation. Fill in the blanks. My students really liked that one, and they also liked matching. My students really liked matching. Now, some of these are first going to be free when you're trying them because that's part of how they get you to have the upgrade version. However, this one I do believe is usually a premium. Yes, this one's a premium an account. So if you choose to upgrade, then you have these features more so than people who choose not to upgrade. And I choose not to upgrade, so I don't. But when I did have like the free trial with this, my students really liked the matching. So when you have your free trial, I would suggest really trying this one. So, Nearpod, like I said, is just a way to engage your students in note taking and making sure they're retaining the information that they're actually receiving. And that way, it's not just a one-way um, note taking lesson. The two standards that I said that fit for this are ISTE E7B and ISTE S2B. So I have the educator side of it, so making sure we're showing them the technology, how to safely use technology so they're not putting an inappropriate username, they're not putting an inappropriate response, they're making sure they're making the right decision, they understand that everyone will see what they're posting. And then the students are knowing how to use this properly. So they're seeing how it's being used, and we're making sure to review it before we post it. So this is Nearpod. Definitely give it a try, especially if you have PowerPoints, because it will change your classroom environment and how your students are learning.